Hello everybody and welcome back to now our last video before CRL League Play for the fall 2023 semester begins. Today I'll be taking you guys through my predictions of all the League Play teams and their standings with the caveat, just gonna put this out there real quick, with the caveat, I got like a plus minus error of 2, okay? If I place that team at like 12th, between 10 and 14, anything outside of that, you guys can give me a bit of slack. Or, you know, you guys can say some words after that. Okay? But plus minus 2 error. I think that's pretty fair. I think that's pretty fair. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let's go ahead and get into our CRL predictions, of course. Starting with the East, the Beast, I already ran out. We're gonna start from the bottom at number 16, work our way up to number 1. And as a reminder, the top 6 of each conference make it to the national championships. There is no playoff bracket this semester. So top 2 make it into the upper bracket of nationals, while 3 through 6 make it into the lower bracket of nationals. So with all that, let's go ahead and get into it right away. Now, something that gets brought up pretty often, especially nowadays, is I undervalue Rochester University. Just every opportunity that I get, I do. I don't know what my bias is. I have nothing against these guys. I really don't. So it's going to seem really weird how I'm putting them at number 16. I don't know how to explain this. Also, I'm going to move my camera because it's going to be in the way of a few of these teams that should be completely good. No, I don't know. I don't know what I have against Rochester, guys. I really don't. Um, I looked at this list. I contemplated like the bottom 3 the most, and Rochester was the one that I decided to put there. They just haven't had any spectacular wins. Like, they didn't have any bad losses. They did pretty well in qualifiers. It's just the fact that their wins didn't mean anything to me, in all honesty. Like, they beat Valleyfield, they beat Seton Hall, they beat Indian River State. It's like, oh, that's the teams that you're beating to get here? I Okay. Congrats. You're top 16 now, I guess. I just need to see more out of them. And I'm hoping that by the time that I make the week 1 recap, they've already proven me wrong, getting a couple wins. Number 15, though, the big ones that I think are up against them for the bottom is Brewton-Parker College. Brewton-Parker, these guys are pretty good, but it's also their first time here. Brewton-Parker as a school has made it once before, but this is a completely new roster as far as I'm aware. I kind of put them on the bubble before quals, They were close, but they weren't in top 16 for me. No, they're in the top 16 of their own merit, but they're definitely still on the low end. And same goes to, and I already know Raz is in the comments or on Twitter or something attacking me, Oakland University. I mean, these guys only made it in because Stockton was playing with a sub. I hope they realize this. They got the easiest possible scenario where Stockton was playing with a sub. Like, I think Stockton is better than Oakland still. So, Oakland can be above 15 and 16. They're still below Stockton, who I think are going to destroy the Opens. But I guess we'll see. Number 13, putting Akron Zips Gold. A roster of Jonathan, Emilio, and Trevor. They're not bad, okay? They're not bad. Jonathan proved himself just last semester in the spring, making it top 8 with Akron Gold. Emilio and Trevor pretty solid duo. They play well together. East is just really powerful. Is basically all I got. The East is just really, really, really strong. And that's why in number 12 we have Illinois State. I actually was just talking to my buddy Big Wade in the DMs about Illinois State. Because he doesn't like my Rochester take. I believe he would put Rochester at number 12. Illinois State are considered to be carried by No Mansion, which is a valid take. No Mansion's just a really strong player in his own right. The other two players on the team, they're not bad, but No Mansion's like the star. And Big Wade was like, well, it's basically just No Mansion. They're gonna fall off. He can't carry them forever. And my retaliation was CSU, my team. I'm wearing the jersey right now. It's a very nice jersey, actually. We barely made summer series, and that was Vigil. That was me, who's now sub, and that was our third Super Turtle, who was like 1,600. Barely made top 32 in the West, like fall 2, lower bracket. And then H comes in and is like, hey, the Rams teams are like possibly contending for top 8 in the West now. We'll get to that later, but like for this example, we're talking about it now. Going from 32 to like top 8, top 12. I think top 12 is like a solid top 12. Illinois State. I think that's a solid comparison of what one strong player can do to a roster. We're moving on though. Ball State number 11. Honestly, preseason I had Ball State higher. I think I had Ball State like number 6. I want to say roughly around number 6, maybe number 5, 4. Yeah, actually, I think they were number 4 over our current number 4 that we'll get to later. The yikes. Lots of emotions on this roster, lots of nervousness on this roster. They'll figure it out in time. These are 3 really strong players, but I don't think they're going to figure it out in the next month. They have 4 weeks, I believe. 5. They have 5 weeks to figure this out. I don't think that they figure it out in 5 weeks. I think that all the teams that are about to show up above them have it figured out already. So, unless they get really lucky and get like the next 3 teams I'm about to list in week 5 when they figured it out, they're going to be pretty low, sadly. Speaking of the teams that they'll have to beat, number 10, Fisher College Black, aka Fisher Friends. They didn't get to keep the name, so they're Fisher College Black now. Solid roster on paper, really good. Only thing is that we haven't seen much from them. In qualifier number 1, they only lost to Akron Zips Blue. Pretty decent roster. Qualifier 2, they didn't have many issues. So it's like, kind of like throw them in the middle and hope I'm right is best I've got. And then coming at number 9, St. Clair Saints Gold. St. Clair, they're looking solid. Qualified in qualifier number 1 over Stockton. We're getting to another area where I'm like, okay, 7 through 10 kind of just mushed together. So we'll have to see how they end up in that group. That's kind of why I gave the caveat, because some of these times it's like, you could be 8th, you could be 7th, you could be 10th. It's hard to really put it into a proper number, which is why number 8, I have Akron Zips Blue. Akron Blue, they did decent last semester in the spring. They brought on Patty for this semester. I think that they'll be at about the same level as before. Only issues. West Virginia got a roster upgrade. Ole Miss got a roster Kennesaw State got a roster upgrade. These are the teams that are above them. Nichols College also, another new roster. It's like Akron Zips Blue are about the same level, but the issue is that the East is expanding and evolving. So being at the same level that you were before is not going to cut it anymore. That's why I have Rochester so low at number 16, because this roster has been together for like 2 years in Rochester. Akron Blues like slowly developed, slowly changed. But if you're staying the same roster, you can expect good improvements for the first year, maybe. After that, it's going to stagnate. Speaking of new rosters, and sadly, the last team that I believe is not going to be making it to the CRL National Championships is Nichols College. And I'm sorry about this one, because this was a tough one between them and number 6. This is also the only time that I disagreed with the Champ League podcast. They had Nichols College in over Kennesaw State. Obviously, Kennesaw State is in my top 6. Besides that, both the East and West, we had the exact same. And those are guys that I respect so much. They've had really good opinions, really great takes, except for like a couple top 10 errors that well, they'll figure it out. But those are the analysts. So, analyst. Nichols College was a good pick. I wish I could put them at number 6, but instead I have Kennesaw State. This new Kennesaw roster is looking pretty good. People are saying, "Oh, it's basically just Illinois State, but with Flitz." No, it's not. Parson and TNT are putting in the work. I mean, like, they're looking good. Like, they beat Ball State pretty well, in all honesty. I think Kennesaw have what it takes to be number 6. I think 6 and 7 completely interchangeable here. St. Clair Gold, Akron Zips Blue also have a slight chance at number 6, but like 6 and 7 are like really interchangeable. They are 50-50, which is why if anyone from Nichols is watching this, you guys can still make playoffs, like 100%. And then comes the teams that really should be making playoffs. Like, there shouldn't be any errors here. Northwood White. Honestly, people are putting them higher than I am. I'm putting Northwood White low here in some people's minds. They're pretty good. Buddy, Adam, Nitrous. 3 names that you might know if you know the bubble scene. They're really good players, and they play decently well together. Yeah, they're good. Number 4, Ole Miss. Now, a couple of people are putting Ole Miss slightly lower, putting Nichols slightly higher, because of the fact that Nichols beat Ole Miss in a show match. Guys, we can't act like show matches matter nearly as much as CRL. Like, $50 are on the line there for that match. Cool. Great. Amazing. Thousands of dollars are on the line for these teams at the top of CRL. Ole Miss are going to be scrimming and playing their hardest. I don't think that they were playing their hardest against Nichols. I think Nichols was maybe not even playing their hardest against Ole Miss, but we're playing harder. Yeah, that's my take on that. Number 3, Fisher College. Fisher, I could see Fisher going all the way down to like 8th. In all honesty, Fisher's the wild card here. They didn't play in summer. They basically just didn't play until qualifiers. We have no idea what they're looking like. They played the qualifiers decently well, but it's like they're pros, and that's what they got. So, they could drop decently hard. Northwood Blue in number 2, taking it into the upper brackets of the national championships. I think that they're like Fisher College, except I think that they care a little bit more. And I think that Northwood as a school cares a lot more. I've talked to faculty and the coach and manager and everything like that of Northwood before. They're a legit school. They actually care about their players and how they're doing GPA wise and making sure they have a good education, all that stuff. So I think that the Northwood Blue players, because of that, are going to be playing better than Fisher. Otherwise, they're 50-50. And that leaves number 1 of West Virginia University. I don't think there's any surprise here. West Virginia are solid. They're really good. They're playing great together right now. I think that they're a guaranteed top 4, if not top 2. And that is the East. I think this is an incredible list, and I'm not going to take any of your consideration. I'm kidding. No, please let me know what you guys think of the East down in the comments. I will literally have lively debates in the comments with you guys about this. I've already been having, conversations on Twitter and Discord and literally anything else that people talk to me with. On to the West. The West here, I think I have nailed pretty well. There's going to be a couple hot takes. Only team that's probably wrong is CSU, because I'm biased. They're getting me a free CRL tag. I'm biased. What can I say? What I'm not biased about is number 16 coming in with Mizzou. Mizzou did not look great in quals. Gonna be honest. Qual 1, a little bit of a disaster. I believe they came 5th to 6th in qual number 1. Qual number 2, they beat Oregon with a sub. So kind of like the Oakland situation. Except Oakland has rank X player Peep. And Mizzou does not. So, yeah. Number 15, San Diego State. Also not super convinced by them. All I can remember is that they beat CU Boulder in a bracket reset in qual number 2. That's kind of all I remember. Sorry, guys. San Diego State, though, they're not bad players. I don't see their synergy as a team. Number 14, we're putting UNLV. Garen, Creature, and Soccer Lover Phil. I think it's going to be Garen trying to carry 2 players in CRL. The last time that we saw a player trying to carry 2 other players in the West, ignore everything I said about the East, about players carrying. The last time we saw in the West, Cal State Fullerton, and that didn't go great. So UNLV there, UT Arlington right above them. UT Arlington kind of on the decline. I was right about them last semester about how they're just starting to fall off. I was right about that one. And then Samba obviously graduated. Caribou's in. I was debating actually putting UT Arlington 15th. But as the Danger Taco once said, Caribou has that dog in him. I can't believe I just said that. I think that they're going to get a couple of wins. Maybe they shouldn't, is essentially what it's going to come down to, because they'll have all 3 players on point enough times in the season. It's basically what I got. Coming in above them is Missouri S&T. Honestly, I think I might be putting Missouri S&T a little high here. It really comes down to they surprise a lot of people every time. I remember they surprised everyone, making it top 8 in the West before immediately beating the number 1 seed of UNLV when they had Wellis in the playoffs. Like, they kind of just do it sometimes. So I'm expecting Missouri S&T to do it again, but the West has so much more competition that they're not going to make top 8. Can't even, top 8 doesn't even matter anymore. So I think Missouri S&T is 12th. I don't know if this one's controversial. It might be. Number 11, I'm putting Dragones Carolina. I don't know what it's going to take to convince me. Not going to lie. But they got to do something. I'm putting them above UNLV, despite UNLV beating them twice. So I'm already taking a solid risk here. Now, Dragos Carolina, their first streamed match, I don't know if it's going to be their first match of CRL, but their first streamed match is against CSU on Chixa's stream on Wednesday. So So that'll be super fun. You guys should check out Chix's stream. Check out Bass from the Pass's stream. He's streaming on Tuesday night. Chix's Wednesday night. Main Serial Channel's Thursday night. You know, send love. Send love to the community streamers. They're doing their best. But CSU against Dragonas, in that I think that will give us a really good taste of what both these teams are actually capable of. So that'll be good to have. Number 10 is most likely my hottest take out of the West. Not gonna lie, but I think that people are rating them way too high. It's Lubbock. Oh, it didn't. There we go. Lubbock Christian University made it in qual number 1 over Borregos. They beat Borregos twice, and that was it. I don't see what people see in them. I think they had a solid day, or Borregos had a bad day. I don't think they're gonna do that great in league play. Not gonna lie. Like I just can't really tell you much about it. Yeah. Number 9, Kansas. I can already see Jar and Spade on Twitter, in the comments, on Discord, berating me. Kansas isn't number 9. We're better than CSU. All this, blah, 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 blah. Just prove it. Like, here's your chance. League play, prove it. There we go. Kansas is solid. This is part of the +2, -2 rule. Kansas, I think, could be up to number 7. Right above them, though, we're putting Borregos. Along with Dragones, I think I'm ranking them higher than they probably should be. I can't tell you why. I mean, Borregos looked pretty solid last semester. I think we can all say that pretty well. I think it's a little bit of just the Mexico hype is making me want to believe that both the Mexican teams are going to do better than where they should be ranked on paper. So we'll see. And then the last team before national championships, the last team to not make it to nationals, it's Colorado State. Okay, guys, look, I'm biased. I'm not that biased. I don't think CSU is going to make the national championships. There's like a 5% chance at most that CSU makes the national championships. I think 5% is solid odds. Okay? 5%. That's all I'm giving it. No, in all honesty, CSU have really strong highs, and I think that they don't have any low lows. The only school that they lost to in qualifiers was St. Edward's. The teams that they won, they swept UT Arlington, they swept Long Beach, which a decent amount of people thought would make CRL, swept Texas A&M. Now, this is going to be where my bias steps in massively, because I gave the same kind of thing for Rochester minus the UT Arlington part. CSU doesn't have that many results. They don't. And that's a big issue that a lot of people have with CSU is with this roster, it's just the 2 qualifiers. That's literally the only thing that they've played in together. I think this is where they belong. I have a lot of, inside knowledge to what these players are capable of, and I will absolutely point out this is bias. I tend to put CSU slightly closer to their peak skill than to their average. And I think that this is where CSU should end up. But let's go on to the teams that we think are going to make the national championship, starting off with Columbia College Silver. Samba manages to make it to nationals again. I mean, Columbia College Silver, I think that they're the top 5 of West, similar to the East, I think are guaranteed. Like, no doubt, guaranteed top 5 are the top 5 in whatever order you put them. And then Columbia College Silver is just like the strong 6th. I don't see them beating any of the top 5, and I don't see anyone below them beating them. is pretty much how it goes. The only thing I can think of is that Columbia College Silver is definitely beating CSU, but then losing to like some random team like Missouri S&T or Dragones or UNLV kind of thing. So they have a bad record, despite beating head to head, might come in 7th kind of thing. Is the only reason why I could see another school getting 6th above them. Moving on though, number 5, Oklahoma Christian. They just haven't moved on my list since the start. They look solid. There's no reason for me to doubt them. There's no reason for me to rank them any higher. Boise State University. They look actually pretty strong. At the same night that Ole Miss did a show match against Nichols, Boise State did a show match against, I believe, St. Edwards. And I believe, did Boise win? I think Boise might have won. But I don't remember. Show matches aren't my requirement for statistics. Boise State looks solid though, is the point. Boise State looked solid as a 3-man roster in this. So Boise State, I think, definitely top 4, guaranteed top 4. They could actually contend with the other of the top 3. Number 3, I don't know. This is kind of one that I kind of just made a hot take because I felt like it would get me more views, not gonna lie. But I also think it's very true. I wouldn't put any of these hot takes if I didn't think they were true. Columbia College Navy at number 3, despite being the CRL Fall 2022 champions, despite being top 4 at Worlds, and then making a roster move to what they thought was better of a Choust over Cosmic Flippy, I think they're 3rd. And what I think it's going to come down to is the top 2 of the West figuring things out. I think Columbia College Navy, they're going to be a little bit complacent. I think that they're not going to take it as seriously as they should. And I think that they're going to get beat a couple times where they could definitely win. Specifically against number 2, Maryville University. Let's not get anything wrong. Maryville, solid players. Okay? Calyx, Knight, Stealth. I forgot for a second. Their 3rd is Stealth. 3 very good players. A lot of people would put Columbia over them. A lot of people are also like doubting if Maryville's actually going to be a good roster, if they're going to have any cohesiveness at all. I say yes. I believe Maryville's actually going to come very strong. And as long as they don't play Columbia early, I think if they wait until like week 3 or later to play Columbia, they win. That is what I think. Leaving number 1, St. Edwards. I think everyone's number 1 is St. Edwards in the West. I guess maybe after that Boise show match, maybe some people have shaken it up, but like St. Edwards number 1, Maryville through Boise are guaranteed 2 through 4, Oklahoma Christian's number 5, Columbia College Silver's number 6. Everyone else is just thrown into a blender basically for everyone's rankings. So who knows? Who knows? But those are my West predictions. That was, oh my goodness, that was so loud. I'm sorry. Similar to the East, put your comments down below. I know that there's going to be a lot of comments about how I'm putting Colorado State too high. I'm going to accept that, and we're going to debate it, and we're going to have a polite, civil conversation about it. But that is all for now, guys. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys enjoyed my little analysis and predictions of what I think the CRL West League play will be. We will be back on Unit Script Tuesday morning. We're doing predictions of all the CRL streams. So be there. And then on every Monday, we will have recaps as well as predictions of the following week's streams. Yeah. Like and subscribe. Goodbye.